One, two, one, two, one, two.
They just don't know. We keep treating.
Yeah. You hear these athletes talking about, yeah, we was out there tricking. What? Why? You're part of the problem.
Hey, you'll be happy to know. You'll be happy to know that these white women, they done went there, y'all. They done went there. It's something that I told you I have always been in fear of for the black woman. I have told you I had been in fear of this very day. One of the major reasons that I don't mind that black women wear hair like these white women is because their hair don't really grow. And if they had wore their natural hair, then white women would call them bald-headed and all this other stuff. And I had never wanted that. I never wanted that for my black sisters. That's how come I didn't mind that they wear wigs and weaves. Because it was like too easy for white women to call them bald-headed. And I have always supported the weave-wearing black woman because I do not want white women being able to say things about them. Now, how did we even get there? Because the black woman started wearing the weaves. You could have just been bald-headed all along, or however long your hair grows, and black men would have loved you either way. But nevertheless, you have this woman named Joy Reid, and she's calling out all of the white women as being racist. So these white women, Megyn Kelly and all these people, they are trying to get her fired. In the midst of trying to get her fired, they called her bald-headed. I was taken aback. I was like, hold on. No, they didn't just say the thing that I feared for black women. Is that, well, that's a whole nother story. Because they came out, Joy Reid and all these women are coming out blaming white women for the election as if black women were teammates with them. And now that they've been disappointed, they are lashing out at white women, exercising their freedom of speech, but also showing their hand on how they really feel about these white women. So this is how white women fire back at Joy Reid as they call her bald-headed. And I was like, oh, man.
It's a TikTok situation until her ass is fired. It's just, there's no way MSNBC, which is in a full meltdown now about how bad their losses were, there's no way they can keep this woman. I realize they're in the same problem that the Democrat Party is. Like, they have a base that they need to keep. But she and her little friend, Ellie Mistal, are truly the most racist people on television. And here,
they're calling for Joy Reid's job. See, now, Joy Reid, I don't know what type of beef she's ever had, but it's on.
Spend another minute on Joy Reid. It's a TikTok situation until her ass is fired. It's just, there's no way MSNBC, which is in a full meltdown now about how bad their losses were, there's no way they can keep this woman. I realize they're in the same problem that the Democrat Party is. Like, they have a base that they need to keep. But she and her little friend, Ellie Mistal, are truly the most racist people on television. And here's her latest messaging, as some groups, indeed, are reportedly planning some march, like the Women's March. Now they're trying to get a march ready. That'll do it. They're going to bust out their pea hats again. Okay, all right.
These white women are going after black women. And I I have a bad notion. Like, I don't think black women were ready for this war right here. She said you pull out your pea hats, your green beret pea hats. Oh man. And she ain't even call her bald-headed yet. And you get out there and you march and you talk about we shall overcome. I mean, whew, man.
You are reportedly planning some march, like the Women's March. Now they're trying to get a march ready. That'll do it. They're gonna bust out their pea hats again. Okay, all right. It worked out so well the last time. And listen to Joy Reid's reaction.
Hey, I just want to give some free advice to the white progressives, particularly white progressive women who may be thinking about marching against the Trump victory, maybe putting back on the pure hats and doing that thing. I would just say probably don't send any of those invites to any black women you know. I'm just going to tell you right now, they're not coming. Like, I'm pretty sure black women have resigned from the Save America Coalition, Save Democracy Coalition, and definitely the Save the Democratic Party Coalition.
So, what do we always say when they say that? So, Joy Reid is basically, as most black women are saying, white women, don't call us when you march. Oh, so Joy, when they called you before the election, you would march with them. Yes, okay. So you're sick and tired of going for the Save America, the Democratic Party coalition, and so you were with all these different coalitions other than black men? Yes. Okay.
I think that's probably not happening. I would just keep those invites maybe among your own friends because I don't think they're coming. But yeah, I think black women are now on the Save Black Women, prioritize black men, and prioritize black communities, black businesses, and that, and you know.
Oh, you doing that now? Oh, you prioritizing black men now? Oh.
But yeah, I think black women are now on the Save Black Women, prioritize black men, and prioritize black communities, black businesses, and that, and you know, the black spaces, the Save America, Save the Democratic Party. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Okay. First of all, where's your hair? What happened to your hair, Joy? It's gone. Like, it's gone from, like, it looked like Trump's hair, and now it's gone altogether. Anywho.
Uh-oh. Calling up bald-headed. Let's go. Here goes the bald-headed stuff.
Gone. Like, it's gone from, like, it looked like Trump's hair, and now it's gone altogether. Anywho, this is what happens when you get bitter and bitter and bitter. And we've seen all these women shaving off their hair online. Have you seen this? This is like part of the resistance effort to telegraph that you hate Trump. These, you know, somewhat okay-looking women are shaving off their hair. So I don't know if that is what she did there, but we already knew that you were far lefty. You didn't have to shave your head. Second of all, the nerve. Like, this is what happens, right? And when she looks at the white progressive women, as it like, what more self-flagellation could white progressive women have done to earn the little pat on the head from the Joy Reids of the world? Ladies, pay attention. It doesn't get you anywhere.
Pat on the head from the Joy Reids of the world. Who are the Joy Reids of the world? The black women of the world. White women don't need that from you, she's saying. And a lot of times they often say, why are you here?
If the conservative women or the more moderate white women let you down, you will be lumped in. Your whiteness comes first before your progressivism does in this battlefield. You will be diminished. You will be.
Your whiteness comes first before your progressiveness in this battlefield.
Rejected by the Joy Reids of the world until what? Until Joy Reid gets her way at the ballot box, Emily.
Well, and Joy Reid is really speaking on behalf of elite progressive black women. She's not speaking on behalf of black women as a whole, because what we've seen over and over again in polling is that the sort of Democratic Party and its activists are far further to the left of actual black voters, Hispanic voters, than they are themselves. So on issues like policing, on issues like economics, like they tend to be cultural issues for sure. The people like Joy Reid, who are in elite media spaces, are further to the left. And so her sort of going and giving free advice as though anybody should care about her free advice after what just happened and her performance as a journalist over the course of the cycle is hilarious. But I am curious what MSNBC does about like overt racism coming from Joy Reid and Alina Stahl, which happens all of the time on their shows. Do they now recognize it as toxic racism? Now that
so the white people are calling racism on Joy Reid, and like you say, you know how white people are. They're so sneaky. Yes, they're calling it on Joy Reid, but they're calling it on all these black women. You know how these whiteys are.
sort of been clear. It's been rejected by voters. It kind of gives them license to say, all right, this is not working. This is too far. This is radical. This is extremism. We're platforming it. You know, those like executives in the C-suites who are thinking through these questions. So they now say we have to stop platforming this extreme racism and acting like it's constructive and healthy. I'm actually pretty curious about that.
Me too. Here's a little bit more from her warnings post his victory. Eliana Slot 20.
Don't think because you have a green card and came through the right way, if you're brown, you may not stick around. I don't think they care whether you have a green card or not. They're pulling people out and taking people out of this country, whether they like it or not, or whether you voted for them or not. Surprise.
So he's going to deport all brown people, even if you're here legally. Like, this NBC owns MSNBC, and this organization is allowing her to spew this racist hate on their channel, that he's going to deport all brown people, even those here legally. Eliana, truly, how long can they allow this? And can that party with that kind of thinking survive?
You know, there have been a couple news articles that have floated the idea that NBC, that Comcast may sell MSNBC. And I do think that's being floated for reasons like this, because,
like I said, they're going after Joy Reid's job. So the white women, they kind of want her fired. They think, you know, these white women being blamed for the election, they're basically saying, so what? Who are you to tell us who to vote for? And, you know, that's the only thing that you got to say about this Trump administration. You can say they are racist, but that's how it's always been. But you will say, well, Joy Reid get fired. That would be the white women, you know, playing their card. See, because Joy Reid and black women have thought that you could just say anything because they thought they were teammates with the white women. That's where this whole thing got mixed up at. It's sickening.
although the cable news network and cable news arm of the network makes money, it does cause some problems for the larger enterprise. And I wouldn't be totally shocked to see that happen. A lot of the headlines they make are for clips like the ones you just played, and it's now intentionally being floated in the press that this thing may be spun off into its own orbit. And Joy Reid will be a big part of that, but also, some of the stuff that's on Morning Joe and elsewhere, it is all over the network, which has intentionally defined itself as a resistance network. You recall the absolute hysterics over the fact that Ronna McDaniel was brought on as a contributor, where it was MSNBC hosts that torpedoed something.
Right. I had this for y'all. So this was Joy Reid when Biden won. So this is what? This is 4 years ago. This is when Biden beat Kamala. Okay?
I mean, when Steve said a couple hours ago that what it looks like is something shocking, it really is a shocking turnaround. And I wonder, we've had conversations before about how Democrats prioritize and make this choice. It seems like this year more than, and people keep talking about electability in an abstract term. I think tonight electability is around who voters intuit Donald Trump is most afraid of. And if you look at the last year of Donald Trump's presidency, he got himself impeached trying to take out Joe Biden.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about trying to take out Joe Biden, you have to think about Joe Biden as being like Coca-Cola, right? So if I have Coca-Cola and you make a soda, I still have Coca-Cola. It's very difficult to change that brand. Biden has a known brand, particularly to the voters who really handed it to him tonight, which is black voters. They know who he is.
Look at this woman's hair, bro. This is what money did to the black woman. She making money and she could just wear some shit like this. I'm glad she went to shave all that shit off, because that's crazy. Like, it's nothing about this hairdo that don't say you ain't no bald-headed person. Like, that's crazy.
He's Barack Obama's VP. And I now, as I'm thinking about just talking to a lot of black voters, particularly in southern states over the last, and in Indiana and places that I've just been running around for the last couple of months, Biden is who they wanted originally. Biden was what they were going to go with. Then he got shaky. He faltered. He started to see maybe it won't work. And then I started hearing repeatedly, we're going to have to go to Bloomberg. I mean, black voters, and I've said this before, they are very clinical about it. They just want to win. They want Trump gone. That's what they want. And Biden was who they wanted because he's a loyal second to Barack Obama. Full stop. But then when he was shaky, they're like, we'll go to Bloomberg. Then Warren iced him. I mean, she ethered him. She finished him. It was kind of a murder-suicide because it didn't help her, but it ended him. And then when that happened, they went, okay. So now I just was down in South Carolina in Selma, and there was a scene inside of Brown Chapel AME that told me Biden's going to sweep the South. I mean, I knew he'd probably win the southern states, but after that night, I was like, oh, he's going to not just win, he's going to sweep. Biden is inside Brown Chapel AME, which is this revered church. But you don't get on the pulpit, you don't get on the dais in a church like that. Slow down, tell the story with as much detail as possible. I've never heard a more fascinating.
So what you're hearing here is Biden went to a black church in South Carolina, and that's how they played them black people. And you know, Biden is the same one that they wouldn't have voted for this time. The only reason the Democratic Party had any action is because they switched to Kamala. A lot of black women were not going to vote for Joe Biden. They were just going to sit it out and just let Trump do the same thing that he did. So, yeah, I didn't watch the video. I thought she was talking about Kamala.
Schwerner and Cheney were killed. They were have to be invited to sit on the dais. Family sits on the dais. The pastor said, laud this other candidate. He couldn't even leave because he would have had.
But yeah, so that was 4 years ago.
She's supposed to be a contributor for NBC.
That's really what you take away listening to Joy Reid. She actually does want some sort of rioting in the streets, some sort of race revolt. She had on this person, again, this is just on Friday. This is an ancient history, to counsel people who don't want to be around their family members who voted Trump. And sadly, this actually may have been necessary because if you go online, you will see a ton of lunatics who actually are talking about disowning family members who voted Trump. Listen here.
You know someone voted that way. Do you recommend it from a psychological standpoint, being around them? We got the holidays coming up.
So I love that you asked this question because, you know, there is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you...
Now, we heard this before. We heard Tanya TKO talk like this. Look at Joy Reid. They're actually happy to disassociate themselves with their family. Yo, y'all black brothers got some sick black sisters out there.
You are going into a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who you know have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood. And it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why, you know, to say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me. And I actually talk to, you know, adults as well as advising parents for children. I mean, I think, you know, I don't think that you should force children. I don't think you should force adults to be around people just because they're your family. I think there's a level of, you know, need to establish boundaries. And if you feel like you need to establish boundaries with people, whether they're your...
I mean, what community is that? All jokes aside, only the black community are saying stay away from your family. First, that's one thing. But then stay away from your family because they voted a certain way on some country politics that you knew what the underlying thing was. That it's a white man's country. You know the underlying thing, but you're going to disassociate yourself from your black family because of the overall theme of a white man's country. Like, what other group of people would do this? Ma'am, you're disassociating yourself from your family. You want reproductive rights to delete your babies. And you're still not happy that men have made the world a place that you could even consider some dumb shit like that? All jokes aside. So, this is bad, man. So, this ugly woman, if you want to call her ugly, she has the platform. And it just look at the contrast. For all we know, this woman is a mixed race baby, but we just gonna call her black. So you got two opposite sides of the spectrum. They really don't identify with each other. That's why this stuff is weird. They don't really identify with each other's life. Men want her and men don't want her. She don't care. and she don't care. Like, it's weird.
Your family or not, I think you should very much be entitled to do so, and I think it may be essential for your mental health.
These people are sick. They're sick, Emily. I look at this whole thing as like it started in the Democratic Party like a cancer, like a basal cell that maybe you could just removed and moved on without too many invasive things happening to you. And now it is a full-blown metastatic pancreatic cancer. And the Joy Reids and the Eddie Glauds, they're everywhere. And this woman who says not just you, but your children, you need to get them away from people who are pro-Trump. Okay, good luck with that, because children go to school and they see children who disagree with things. And you want your children not to see Nana and Pop-Pop, who are in their 80s, who voted for Trump for reasons like wisdom that comes with age.
Sorry, Miss White Woman. Ain't no more Nana and Pop-Pop in the black community. Sorry. They've been deleted Nana and Pop-Pop. Like, Pop-Pop been gone. Nana been gone a little while too, but Pop-Pop been gone. Nana took out Pop-Pop. And then the daughters took out Nana. So, no. They don't want their children to be around a Nana and a Pop-Pop because it don't exist in the black community. Now, that's another sad story. I didn't even think of that. Like, there's no Nana and Pop-Pop. Last time you heard somebody say granddaddy and all this other shit. Man. And she said Nana and Pop-Pop. They still think that we are some sort of community, y'all.
Love with that, because children go to school and they see children who disagree with things. And you want your children not to see Nana and Pop-Pop, who are in their 80s, who voted for Trump for reasons like wisdom that comes with age, but you've got to turn it into they're racist and they can't be around each other. It's sick.
So, and also, like something like 3 in 10 black men under the age of 45, according to the Associated Press, voted for Donald Trump. And same thing, he got over 50% of the popular vote. So you're talking about just completely blocking off a vast swath of the country. And on top of that, this means basically what Joy Reid is doing is continuing to mainstream these totally abstract academic concepts of internalized racism and internalized misogyny. Like if we pull back the layers of the onion as to what she's trying to argue in that segment, it's that you shouldn't associate even with black voters for Trump or female voters for Trump because they are internalizing misogyny. They're internalizing racism, internalizing sexism. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day, meaning they are then promoting the racism and sexism back out into society, despite being women or black voters. They're still responsible for this racism over and over again. And we saw this a lot during the Trump years, but this, to your point about comparing this metaphorically to cancer, this is a cancer cell that started in academia, and people who went through academia were crying from the rooftops for years, saying, please pay attention. This is becoming mainstream. This is being planted. The seed is being planted in the minds of young people, and they're moving into C-suites. They're moving into newsrooms. They're moving into boardrooms. Please do so. Like, stop throwing them a bone. Stop extending the olive branch. Stop taking this stuff seriously, because it is utterly unserious. It is stupid. It is illogical. It is postmodern, and it is stupid. And that's what you now see. And toxic, and yes, and racist, and unhealthy, and just awful. And this is now what you see having infiltrated fully the newsrooms of major papers and MSNBC. And now what are you going to do about it? I mean, Joy Reid lied about CNN. Joy Reid lied about her blog being hacked when people found old posts on it that were objectionable. She lied about it, and MSNBC.
They're anti-gay.
Yes, by her own standard, would be wildly homophobic. And she claimed she was hacked, and they didn't get rid of her after that. So I don't know.
There you have it, y'all. You know, I think these black women are building enemies. And guess I could hit you with one more, yo. Because what I don't like is the black woman showing their hand. You're basically showing these people your hand. That, yo, I don't like you. You don't have to make everything public. Like, I didn't like that part. You're showing everybody your hand. Now the white people know how to move around you. Stupid. That's about like you're showing your hand. That is dumb. And all these white people know how you black women feel. They thought they had you, but Here we go.
Nuance, and to the people who are intentionally not hearing what Black women are saying, listen. I heard someone say this. That election was y'all giving us your ass to kiss. And as I heard another creator say, now we're going to sit on ours. The utter anger and vile things that I've heard people say about Black women, other Black people saying about Black women during this time, y'all have lost y'all's fucking minds. Well, what about this genocide? What about that genocide? What about this? There has been a genocide on Black women since we got to this continent. And it has not stopped. And no one gives a fuck about that.
Ma'am, the first question I would like to ask you is, who is supposed to give a fuck? That's the first question I would like to ask. Now, if you want to be a smart ass and you say Black men, then I would say, well, why did you leave Black men? If Black men supposed to give a fuck about you, why did you align with America? Why did you align with all these other coalitions? So then I would say, well, did you give the Black men your ass to kiss first?
We're going to sit on ours. The utter anger and vile things that I've heard people say about Black women, other Black people saying about Black women during this time, y'all have lost y'all's fucking minds. Well, what about this genocide? What about that genocide? What about this? There has been a genocide on Black women since we got to this continent. And it has not stopped. And no one gives a fuck about that. We are losing our lives to save yours. And y'all are upset because y'all have lost your human shields. Y'all have lost the organizers, the event planners, the mouthpieces of movements, the people who have allowed you guys to sit back and dust your hands off. Y'all have lost that. And
Hold on. What am I hearing here? I gotta play this back because I know she's not talking about Black men right here. So she's talking about white women and other people. So look at what she was doing. Look at what the Black women are proud of to be doing for other people. Listen.
we're losing our lives to save yours.
Not talking about Black men.
And y'all are upset because y'all have lost your human shields. Y'all have lost the organizers, the event planners, the mouthpieces of movements.
The organizers, the planners, and the mouthpieces of movement for everybody but Black men. Wow.
The people who have allowed you guys to sit back and dust your hands off. Y'all have lost that. And now y'all are scrambling. Because you don't know, we were the movement. Without us, there was no movement. Even with the whole white feminism and everybody's thanking Susan B. Anthony, which come the fuck on. She was just as racist as y'all are now.
Ma'am, am I hearing this right? She's actually mad at white women for being white, and she wanted to be down with them. And now she said Black women are this and that, but they lost the election. So I don't get it.
Y'all, they used our work back then and then left us in the dust. And now we're like, okay, y'all want to leave us in the dust? Okay, y'all go ahead. You guys, y'all got it. And y'all are losing your minds. And you sound like abusers. Black women, against their will, have been involved in a centuries-long abusive relationship. Anytime you leave an abuser, the abuser starts panicking. See, you're never going to make without me. See, I never needed you. See, I knew you always hated me. So you're just going to tear our family apart? Yes. And I've had so many white women and
Well, that's the excuse they make for tearing families apart. I'm not trying to just like down on her. It's just that you can hear what she's saying.
Hispanic women. Well, you can't be like that. This isn't the time for division, baby. Y'all voted for division. That's y'all. Y'all love to gaslight us and villainize us. I made a video, I think 2 weeks ago, where I said that you're at risk of losing your relationship the moment you start taking care of yourself and prioritizing yourself, because the people who are benefiting from you sacrificing yourself are going to be pissed. And this, on a much bigger scale, is happening with Black women. Everybody that's angry at us and saying all these crazy things about Black women, you're just showing everyone that you are one of the people benefiting from our free labor. Either that, or you are naive and very, very uneducated. I've seen some creators that I have actually enjoyed their content for quite some time join in on this hatred of Black women. I'm talking about other Black creators. And I'm immediately like, ew, ew, ew. I see who that 7% was. I see who that 15 or 17% of Black men were. I see it. You're showing me that. If you're a Black creator saying all this bad shit about Black women right now, I know what percentage, I know what side of, I know where you were at.
Ma'am, so do we. We know the numbers too. You ain't saying nothing. We got the numbers right here. The numbers are right here. 92 to this is 7% that you're talking about. So all of y'all are against us little 7% of men. We know. But the problem is you thought that it took the election for people to find out. Well, the rest of the world, they had to wait, but the Black man, he knew all along.
You're definitely not part of the 90-something% of Black women. You're definitely not a part of the 83% of Black men if I hear you come on this app saying that shit about other Black women. I know where you stand. And everybody, we learned big words on this app, so I'm going to use one. Everybody's talking about nuance. But they seem to not have those skills when it's time for Black women to do what's best for them. Some of y'all motherfuckers are weird.
And that's the real sum of the story. They think we're weird, we think they're weird. Now, how the fuck will we come together as Black people? Now, what is the reason that I think she's weird? As a Black person and all this Black stuff you talk about, why would you want immigrants to come into the country that your ancestors built and have you preserve a preserved spot in this country? Why would you let immigrants come do that? Well, because I know you don't even want to talk reproductive rights. That's just a stupid conversation that I'm not willing to have. That's just a stupid conversation. So I'll stick with the border stuff. Now, why am I weird? Because I voted for Trump. Damn. But at least I care about what my ancestors did, and I don't want illegals coming over here invading the country. So at least I stand on something. Where do you stand on? Well, I had thought that I had came together with white and Hispanic women, and I thought it was like a women's movement.
And one thing I will always do and always have done is stick by Black women as someone who is one, as someone who is raising one.
What did I say? What did I just say? I ain't never seen this video, and I damn sure ain't stop it there on purpose. All I know is I was with the Hispanic and the white women. That's all they know.
Someone who is in a family of them, as someone who is friends to them. I will never be a part of any team who talks shit about them.
And that's another thing that yes, we knew as black men, but they never really said it. We knew that they had aligned with other women, sister, whatever, but they really saying it now. All the years that we aligned and we were the mouthpiece for you white women and Hispanic women. Well, sis, we knew that. That's why we were saying to you, why are you trying to act like you down for the black man? Or you have a black issue that the black man should take a part of. No, we're not doing that.
Black women. And if you're a black person on this app making fun of black women, saying we're stupid and we're dumb and we're this and we're that, you can go fuck yourself, quite honestly.
And there you have it. Kamala Harris voters are some of the most nasty people they are nasty. And who are they? 94%. I'm sorry, fellas.
Maybe putting back on the pure hats and doing that thing. I would just say probably don't send any of those invites to any black women you know. I'm just going to tell you right now, they're not coming. I'm pretty sure black women have resigned from the Save America Coalition, Save Democracy Coalition, and definitely the Save the Democratic Party Coalition. I think that's probably not happening. I would just keep those invites maybe among your own friends because I don't think they're coming. But yeah, I think black women are now on the Save Black Women, Prioritize Black Men, and Prioritize Black Communities, Black Businesses, and that, and the Black spaces, the Save America, Save the Democratic Party. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Okay. First of all,
hold on, Bernie. She gonna call her bald-headed. Hold on.
Where's your hair? What happened to your hair? It's gone. It's gone from it looked like Trump's hair, and now it's gone altogether. Anywho, this is what.
Now, these other two women, they didn't want to laugh at the bald-headed black woman. They're still holding face. She laughing a little bit, but I tried to warn the black woman. These white women will call you bald-headed in a minute. Bernie, what's good?
Peace, Prince. How my audio?
It's decent. It's okay.
Hey, I just wanted to say something, man. I was listening to some of this earlier. I was actually listening to Roland Martin and D.L. Hughley.
Really?
And,
got something?
Well, they on X. They on X. Everybody's so pro-black, but I hear this word white supremacy, white supremacist. And I was just saying to myself, me, I don't know if you, but I know I came up, I was in the 90s. That was my era. The only people who used that word was militant groups. Right. You didn't hear that word, white supremacists. You heard Francis Cress Welsing, Nellie Fuller, some of the Pan-Africanists and Hotep teachers. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is blacks people didn't use that word, like these Boule blacks.
Right.
At work, Farrakhan, you had to go to a Farrakhan rally or meeting to hear the word white supremacists. So the point I'm making is that I'm just finding it interesting and odd that today that word now is so prevalent in the mainstream amongst the type of blacks that would have turned their nose up at Farrakhan. You know what I'm saying? Like a D.L. Hughley and Roland Martins and them. These were people that was opposition. Even going way back to Marcus Garvey, and you had W.E.B. Du Bois. These were Marcus Garvey would use white supremacists, and W.E.B. Du Bois was his opposition. And so I just found it interesting today. You know what I'm saying? And like you just playing these videos of these of our people in this rage about white supremacy is what got Trump elected, and it just amazes me because it really it pushes us back, man. We're further back than our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? We are more educated than our ancestors have ever been, but they are way more advanced than we are. Our people are fighting a losing battle, man, with this mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like like this enemy. I get it. White folks haven't always been great. You know, we do gotta, watch them and understand how we operate with them. However, I'm under my thought frame is that this today is a class. We are in a time of classism, rich and poor. So that can be black and white. I don't know, man. I don't want to go on and on and on. It's just weird to me, man, because I was part of those radical pro-black movements in the 90s. And we talked about white supremacists. And the masses of black people would sleep. They was bootlicking and trying to rub elbows with white folks. These same black folks. Now today, you can't get them to stop saying white supremacy.
Well, let me ask you a question. What do you think white supremacy is to them as opposed to what it was to you back in the day?
That's a good question. Off the top, without overthinking it, I think it is to them. What I think it is pretty much not putting them at the back of the table, at the back of the room, and not really letting them have that front center rubbing elbows. And now, what it meant to us back in the day, it was like the reality. It was a real reality of what we saw because we had Rodney King and whatever. You was in New York. You had the situation in what was it, Bedford-Stuyvesant? But
what you had, you had people like Trump, Giuliani, and all the regular racist white men.
But let me ask you this real quick. Let me ask you this. You remember with the Central Park Five, right? I remember, and I was in Connecticut because I'm from Connecticut. But even in Connecticut, everybody was under the presumption they was guilty, blacks and white. Everybody thought that was awful.
I mean,
I'm not absolving. Mm-hmm.
Nah, I believe that nobody will never know. It was a time with no cameras.
Facts.
Nobody will know.
But it wasn't like today. It wasn't like today, like they was just being accused and they was innocent. And all black people was under the same thinking. Like that was you know what? I'm gonna just keep it real because they would do things and they would do things and frame it like blacks did it. And so I know we would just have that kind of understanding back then that, well, these niggas did it. If they say they did it, they did it.
Right. Ain't nothing we could do about it.
Remember that
happened all the way up to Rodney King. Rodney King was the first video we ever saw anything.
Right, facts. That's a fact. That is a fact. That's a fact. But again, like I said, back in them days, even back then, you didn't have the mainstream of blacks being as vocal as they are today. No, because it's not the same blacks. Okay.
That's why I said the difference of the white supremacy. They're fighting for a seat at some table somewhere where they shouldn't be in the first place.
Because that's all it can be.
Like we were fighting for to be treated better. Like there's nothing for them to be treated better about. They have all the opportunity in the world.
A good example of that is that these folks, they've been living a life of wealth and luxury. They've lived a life most of us haven't lived. And then so like you said, they didn't experience or have a struggle. I don't want to say they didn't experience, but their messaging wasn't of a struggle because they were lacking. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I just find it odd.
Hold on, man, you being greedy. Not only that, they don't teach what it was like to be black. They try to erase our history. You see what I'm saying? Like, ain't none of the stuff that we watch when we was kids. And they don't promote no black movies of what happened, how when we grew up, we saw niggas getting water hose. We didn't grow up in them times,
right.
But stuff that we saw, they ain't even see that. These kids ain't even see that stuff.
Right.
You know? They don't know how black people was treated and why they get to be at the table that they're at.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so when you hear a woman talking, man, especially of a certain age, you basically ignoring the blacks getting water hosed and all that, and the German shepherds and all that stuff. And this is after slavery.
Right. Yep.
But take a listen to this girl real quick.
Jay Chaw, I'm so glad you are here. A lot of them are black men. Perhaps you saw a video of something I said about the election and you 100% agree. You are proud of the fact that you are part of the 83% of black men who voted for Kamala Harris. But I just want to say a couple things. Number one, this page is for women and members of the LGBTQ plus community. And I am mutuals with some men on this app, and I can quite literally count them on one hand and probably still have a couple fingers left as far as the men I'm mutuals with on this app. What I am noticing and what makes me stick by the fact that my page will always be for women and members of the LGBTQ plus community, despite the fact that 83% of you voted for Kamala Harris, is one, if you haven't noticed, a lot of us were shocked. A lot of us were genuinely shocked that there was 83% of you, simply because of the way that y'all normally treat us in the real world, even on this app, the things that I have heard black men say. And another thing is I'm noticing both on here and on my YouTube page, if any other of you guys want to follow me on YouTube, same name is on here, Jules Lowell. But what I'm noticing from black men is, well, I voted for Kamala, what are you bitching about? Or I'll be talking about how white people fucked up this whole election and other races. And then black men will comment and say, see, you black women are never happy. Before anybody says, well, that's just a bot, that's actually a white person. No, sometimes I click on the profiles of people who are saying this shit and it be exactly who says it, okay? So don't gaslight me. I'm a black woman. I'm fucking tired of the gaslighting. I'm just going to block you. I know what I'm talking about, okay, y'all? So it's kind of like, yes, 83% Kamala Harris, yes. But it's the attitude of here, damn. Like we gave it, like we did, so now you have to shut up. Does that make sense? And I just saw the video of a black man who posted on this app. I don't know if it's still up, but I saw the clip of it on a black woman TikTok video. And he's saying, basically, 83% of us voted for Kamala Harris. We're the number 2 demographic of people who voted for Kamala Harris. And we still can't get any under the 4B movement. And he's like, damn. It's almost like we get 2 steps forward and 25 million steps back. And I got a lot of shit for when I posted a video telling black women that we.
So like, what would you think of a stupid video like that, Brian? And that's what a lot of black men say, man, you see what the video you're wasting your time with? You just made us all a little bit more dumb, right? Or dumber.
Man, it's like I don't even know who that message is for. Well, she said who it's for, but I don't know why. It's like you could take that message out of a black face. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you leave it, because she has a black face, but not a black cause. If that makes sense.
I mean,
yet discussing black men, but it's a message that is not a black message, for a black cause. It's just in a black face. So she gets to talk. She gets to use those words. You know what I'm saying? Because you
sad.
can put that, on any, you can put that, slap that on, what's that, what's the dude named Bruce Jenner? You can, but he conservative, but he flipped this. I don't know, man.
No, well, I would like to ask her this. If voting for Kamala won't get you out of the 4B movement, what could the black man do to get you out of the 4B movement? Like, what would it be for you to get back with the black men? That's what I would like to
No.
know. You understand? Let me get back to this other. You got this loud ass blinker, B. I mean, I still think black women are missing it. We just want you back with us. I think they still missing that part.
I referred to the late great Kevin Samuels, who said they are a party of one. They are
Wow.
a party of one. That's the best explanation. You played a clip the other night. You said they don't lack the first order of business, which is family.
Yeah. I mean,
And that's it.
yo, he shot him down with that.
Yeah, that is it. That is what you just played. That was it, just there that you just played. That lady, that sister, was embodies that statement. That's it. So there's really nothing that we can do because she's a party of no one.
Dang. The white bitch said, you don't want your babies to go see Nana and Pop Pop? Ain't no Nana and Pop Pop. Like, our Nana is Nene Leakes. That bitch about 70 years old. That's a Nana. Nene Leakes. And ain't no Pop Pop. You can just forget about that. These hoes can have a 4B movement. I'm going to be in seat 4F on the way to Peru. And like I say, these are some copycat people. Now they trying to steal the passport bro swag.
Women that are doing the work, because it has been made very, very clear that while we have already been supporting ourselves, we need to amp that up. We need to take and invest into ourselves in a way that we have not done before. So I will be doing.
There they go telling on themselves again. So you wasn't investing in the black man. So now you need to take back and invest in yourself. Who were you investing in? The white women and the women's movement. So you want to take back from them. And all you're doing, in my opinion, is showing people that when you ride with them, you're liable to take back. And like I said, everybody else is going to get to see who you people are besides the black man, because he already knows. You take.
That's the best of my ability by uplifting this woman that I will be showing you shortly. And she does have a YouTube channel. Feel free to follow her on here, but you could follow her on TikTok. She's really, really, really close to getting monetized, to having the followers to get monetized. So if you could follow her on TikTok, I think that she's more active on TikTok also. That would be great. And she breaks down all of the evolutions of the 4B movement, not just in Korea. It's also expanded in.
Hey, Pompey 2K, it's funny that you said 4B.
Into China and other. It's fascinating, and she's done the work. So I'm going to show you the work that she has done. Don't forget to follow her. Yeah. Oh, and I'll be including her links for TikTok and YouTube here. Okay, now we're watching.
Think about the best night's sleep you've ever had. How effortless it was to fall asleep and stay asleep.
Hey, what's up? I'm Sasha Graham. I'm a radical feminist, female separatist, and I do outreach for the 4B movement. I have good news for all sisters. I'm working on a 4B deep dive. Today, I want to get into the expansion of the 4B movement into the 5B movement, the 6B movement, the Chinese iteration of the 6B 4T or 10BT movement, the 7B movement, the 8B movement, and the 8B 4T movement. Let's get into it. So the 4B movement is an initiative to gain female economic and political power. The 4B principles teach us that this is achieved through separatism from male power and influence. That means no sex with men, no dating men, no marrying men, and no childbirth. A lot of women's time and potentials are wasted in pursuing the expansion of social capital for male people. That means providing them with free labor, advocating for their causes, prioritizing male concerns, generally all the things that don't benefit female people. Separatism generally makes it easier for female people to navigate a globally hostile political climate and economic distress. The fifth expansion is a principle called no chat bar. No chat bar basically means that we are just not talking to men. When you post to social media or when you're at a protest and things of that nature, you're just not giving them attention. And that includes even males who are supportive of the 4B movement or claim to support the 4B movement. Because if they understood the principles, they would shut up and follow our lead. They wouldn't try to capitalize on women's attention by saying that they support the 4B movement, because that's useless. So instead of wasting our time trying to explain to them that we're not a threat, or trying to tell them that this is not about them, or trying to give them any information, just ignore. Because attention that you give to them is attention that should be spent on other female people, reaching out to them and supporting other sisters who are in the 4B movement or are supportive of the 4B movement. The sixth expansion is B supports B. That means that when you see another sister who is practicing the principles of the 4B movement, you support her. You amplify her content, you share resources.
Yeah, that's what you got, guys. I mean, we basically stupidity at its finest. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know what y'all want out of these people anymore. Like, see, I don't want to say too many bad things, but only if y'all knew that they are so convinced that their box is trash and that they don't know how to finesse a man and caress a man and be with a man. You know, they just don't know how to be with a man, and their box is trash. So
Marginalized communities and the history of.
So they would really rather not. And that is where the story had got sad, because one of the woman's superpower was how she could have a man do this and have a man do that. Like, they so stupid that they would take their own superpower away. That's stupid. 52% of American gladiator BWs have the herp. Oh, God. Talk your shit, brother. The negrosity of them thinking their box can be held hostage to persuade us. I mean, that's why I say your box can persuade, but not held hostage. You got to be giving it up, and then the man will, do something. But holding it hostage will never make a man do anything except go get it elsewhere. Are you kidding me? Fuck you think we are?
Voting. Today, let's talk about Black women and the history of voting. Okay, Black women have played an active role in the struggle for universal suffrage. They participated in political meetings and organized political societies. Black women attended political conventions at their local churches, where they planned strategies to gain the right to vote. Despite their hard work, many people didn't listen to them. Many people being Black men and Black women. They usually led civil rights organizations and set the agenda. They often excluded Black women from their organizations and activities. Perfect example. The National American Women's Suffrage Association prevented Black women from attending their conventions.
That's where you at, fellas. Okay? But
yeah, black woman is their own species.
Yeah. That's what I say. That's what I say. And I don't know when you brothers are going to realize it. But did you see? I like this video right here. I'm sorry, guys. This is one of my favorites.
To women by default. A lot of white women's allyship is not to women. It's to whiteness and it's to power, which connect.
A lot of white women are not allies with you women. And then you coming out here saying how you're not an ally to the white woman after the election. So now you're showing your hand. So I don't know, man. Like I say, maybe it's me, man, but when I watch these black women, how they be like, you know, Trump, you know, he doesn't care about the environment and all this. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is black women even talking like that? It's some weird ass shit, man. Like, what happened to them? The environment and immigrants and looking weird all the time.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Welcome and welcome back. However this finds you, I do hope that it finds you well. So today we're breaking out of character a little bit. We're going away from character a little bit. I have a script, I'm gonna be in and out of it. And I ask you to bear with me. But even if you don't bear with me at this point, I don't give a shit.
There you go.
I gotta get right into it. So it has become extremely clear, and I knew it already, but in case y'all in the back didn't know, America has a problem. And we can gaslight ourselves, we can say that this is the greatest country on earth, and that may be true. But sometimes greatness is buried under a whole bunch of mess, and we need to take a look at that. From the moment Kamala Harris entered the presidential race, Black women, they saw the mountaintop. She wasn't just another candidate. She represented decades of struggle, of resilience, of unacknowledged labor, a bunch of things. And while we were excited, we were also afraid because we know what we're dealing with. We know what this country is about. Needless to say, across the country, folks celebrated her historic run. We celebrated her historic run. But again, deep down, we feared the question that lingered. Was America ready to elect a Black woman? This week, we got our answer. We got confirmation to what we already knew. Y'all, not y'all, but y'all, would rather choose a man who is convicted of 34 felonies, someone who has made it his mission to dismantle democracy. I'm sorry.
Now that's another thing. Like, why do you care? I don't know. Am I off here? Maybe I'm off. I don't know. Why do the Black woman care? That's what I want.
It's like it was something else.
I would like to say, is there anything in the Black community that you care about more than this? That's what I would like to ask that person. Is there any specific thing in the Black community that you care about more than the subject matter that you're talking about? And I believe she would say no. You know? Dang.
Agreed.
They throw this Black stuff up there so much. Like, it's never been like that. Like, you've never cared about Black people in a whole, as a whole. American Black women say that they shouldn't be mass deportation, even though those jobs are making the men that still want them Black men impoverished. Right. They care that Trump got 36 counts and he did. Man, why do you care?
Hey Prince, it's just like like what you just said. It's like what I was saying. You never heard this much about caring about Black people. It was only certain groups that did all of this.
This is and they seem to be doing it more than the groups.
Rat loading. Someone who has made it his mission to dismantle democracy, to strip away the rights from marginalized communities, to punish
democracy marginalized communities. Like, what community are you talking about? Is there anything specific for the Black community? She's just like Kamala. Is there anything you care about the Black community? God damn. Like, I've never seen Black women care about so many different politics. Like, we're talking about, like, marginalized communities. That used to be the black community when you talk about marginalized communities in America, right? But see how the black woman mixed everybody in the pot with them? And I say that because black men will not be associated with the rainbow community because they don't want nobody to blame them of being gay or anything like that. So that's already one community that you will go get with that the black man won't. I don't see black men really buddy with Indians, Chinese, or anything like that.
Political opponents than elect a qualified black woman. Let that sink in. The fact that she was even in competition with him speaks volumes. It is.
No, it don't. The only volume it speaks is that they cheated and made her run without a primary. Why won't you say that part? How does that speak volumes besides the fact that they cheated? I don't know, Bernie, man. I can't do this.
Is at the very bedrock of how we operate in this country. This is why I push against respectability. This is why I push against excellence, because no matter how excellent, your opponent still views you as something else. More on that later. So this woman had 100 days and she absolutely killed it. She killed it. That cannot be denied. Her campaign wasn't marred by scandal, grabbing people by the or significant missteps. There is not.
That's one of my problems right there. Grabbing people by the Well, if all the other women communities don't care about that, why do you? When the last time you cared about some white woman being grabbed by some white man? I don't get it. That's how come I know it's impossible for me to be. This is not a black person because I'm black and I can't identify with this person. It's impossible. I'm a basic black. This must be some hybrid shit. Because I don't know no black woman that give a damn about some white woman being touched on by a white man. Not where I'm from. That's crazy.
Who might try to lift those at this point. But it cannot be denied again that she ran a race which was disciplined, even while tethered to an administration that was weighed down by waning popularity. Yet, despite her qualifications, her competence, her vision, her everything, it was not enough. And why? Because in this country, in America, being exceptional isn't enough when you are a black woman.
Right. You got to be with the black man. You got strength is in numbers, sis. You can't be single and solo and individually and exceptional. You have to have the strength is in numbers. Can't do it alone. Don't you get it?
Yo, it is not just about Kamala Harris's loss. This is about what her defeat says about this country. This is about America's rejection, and it's not based on policy or economics. We must be honest, y'all. This is about maintaining two things, wealth and whiteness.
So why don't you maintain your wealth and blackness? Why wouldn't you? Wealth and whiteness means that the white man and the white woman is together. Why won't you do your wealth and your blackness? Why is that so far from your thought process? Right. She's 20 million in debt. But like I say, they only tell this one-sided story, which always, for a simple person like me, say, yo, I can't trust that person. Like you telling the one side of the story, I can't rock with that. I don't accept one side of the story because I'll accept both sides. I don't mind. So why would you not tell both sides? That don't make sense. You must be untrustworthy. You know what I'm saying? It's simple.
It's about white privilege and status, with a little bit of misogyny mixed into that pot. This is about a system that only tolerates diversity enough when it does not challenge who is at the very top. The bottom line is that the one incoming did not win because he is a strategic genius. Knock it off. Knock it off. He won because he promised chaos, destruction, and millions of Americans, millions of y'all, not y'all, but y'all said yes, please.
So, if he voted for destruction, what will be your safest cause of action, sis? What will be the best thing for you to do to be safe in a world of chaos and destruction?
Get with your black man.
You understand? Go ahead, Bernie, man.
I was just gonna say, do it look like she missed a day at Whole Foods? I bet you she get her white supremacist Whole Foods every day.
I mean, it's sad, man.
Look at her. She's so pro-black and anti-white, but I bet you she don't stay out of Whole Foods.
I mean, they live the white life. They're mad that the white people didn't side with them. That's all this is. That's all this is. They live more white. They are some of the most cracker Oreo cookie people you ever saw. And they up here talking about black, black, black. How could you talk black and you're not even with your men? And you mad that the white women went and got with their men. Like, how could that make you mad? You supposed to be like, well, I got mine too. I don't get it. Like, all the achievements that the black man has, none of these black men make you women proud? God damn. Shit. Like I said, these videos wasn't on the internet, B. All these years, it was just regular men ain't shit videos. These are different. These are like black women coming out with weirdo looking glasses and all this weird shit. And they're really trying to say how, yo, this is a white man's country. They wasn't talking like this before. And they still got it wrong because you saying it's a white man's country, but you supposed to, you know what I want to say? This thought just came to me that I had thought about earlier. I wanted to say that Taraji P. Henson shit. Hey, Black Queen, we see you. we need you. We need you.
Hey, that and Prince, that's gone. She don't wipe that off her IG.
Yo, that's something.
She don't scrub that.
Yo, I want black men to say that, like, yo, hey, Black Queen, we see you. We need you. You know? Yeah.
And she done scrubbed that off the internet.
No, we had it the other day. We played it. We played it the other day.
She cleaned off all her Kamala stuff off her IG.
Oh, I respect that. It goes to show what we had just said earlier. Like, they'll turn on you. I mean, they turned on Kamala in a heartbeat. You know? And hey, you know, black men, what the black men do? We ain't do nothing. We just sitting there. Black men ain't do nothing to nobody. If we voted for Kamala, if we didn't vote for Kamala, we wasn't getting the black woman back either way. And the best thing that we did was show that 90-something% of y'all voted. What did that mean? That means you believe that you didn't need no man. You was basically saying, yo, if we all vote, we should win this. And it just went to show that all of y'all voted against men and it didn't work. And men are happy. And you should be happy for your black men that they're happy. That's what I say. Maybe the next 4 years you'll be happy, but you should be happy that we're happy. Can't be happy for a brother? I appreciate you coming up, Bernie, man, because this was a late show. I wanted to get this out the way because I got a good show for the morning, B. I got Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson got approached in the UK. Umar Johnson got this private video that he got approached by a woman in the UK, and she was saying like, "Yo, Umar, you ain't got no women. Why do you treat black women like that?" So we're gonna do that show in the morning. Like, now, the dude, he just like Umar did a response to it, but I don't got that part. I just got the question of how the women in the UK with their British accents, like, Umar, but you don't have a wife. I was like, wow. So y'all know how it is, man. Umar don't want no wife. Black women mad at Kamala. We're just a scattered community. Like Bernie said earlier, they didn't respect Farrakhan. And yes, Farrakhan was a sellout or whatever, but just the formula. The formula was good for black people. You know? But that freedom, we have freedom, and you're able to do whatever you want. You don't have to listen to Farrakhan if you don't want to. And that's just what happened. And then you get enough people not listening to him. The goddamn man's irrelevant now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you sat some, I guess, 9th or 10th grade black children down and played some of them Farrakhan speeches, I guess even the goddamn Million Man March, do they even know the Million Man March existed? Do they know why? Do they know anything? I mean, they'll scrub our whole history away, bro. You know? Like, black people, that should be in the goddamn history books in school. The Million Man March happened. And young black people could be proud of why the Million Man March happened. You know? We never hear nothing about the Million Man March. Straight erased from history. You know what? I might do that for y'all. I might hit the hood or any damn where and just ask younger black people, yo, have you ever heard of the Million Man March with Minister Louis Farrakhan? I think I'm gonna do that. Because these black women are so messed up. They don't like. What about that history? Why is that not something that you pushing out here? We're bad bag of apples, y'all. Bad bag of apples we are. We let our own history get erased. One of my things that I hate the most, I ain't gonna lie, is that they erased that Negro League. And they got all these goddamn other people making all the money. And the Negro League is like a goddamn never existed. And that's the very reason why Hispanics could even make all this money. It's crazy. Black women need to be fighting for something like that. That's where your goddamn reparations are. All them goddamn Hispanics that's making all this money. That's straight because of the Negro League. No other way around it. That's a direct influence of black people. You know? So it's just another way that black people would just let shit just erase. All right, man, I'm out of here, man. I'm tired.